Welcome to Citizens Reunited to Overcome Cancer, a show to make your survivorship an easier journey by providing information and advocating for you. A show to help practitioners up their game and their level of performance. This is the Croc Podcast. Here is your host, Dr. E, and alongside him to share some hope and inspiration from the Have Faith, Let It Begin podcast, co-host Angel Santana.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Croc Podcast. My name is Dr. Tommy Anelli, and I am, as always, humbled and honored that you chose to listen. This week's pod is entitled, Turn on the Lights Already, Seasonal Affective Disorder and the Cancer Survivor. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what motivated today's topic. Angel Santana on the eve of a 2-foot snowstorm. How are you doing?
Tired, and I haven't shoveled. Tired.
Well, there's going to be plenty of time to shovel tomorrow, my friend.
But you know what excites me? Coming together and doing this show because we know we're going to make a difference. So you know what? I'm not tired anymore.
There you go. Well, we're going to be hopefully a great lesson because, you know, I started this whole week just thinking about myself, right? So I'm thinking, you know, the eggnog is starting to turn sour, where all the trees and Christmas lights are down. My mood is in the basement, if not in the dungeon. You know, you and I are very similar, Angel. We wake up in the dark. We drive to work in the dark. We begin our day at our desk in the dark. There's a couple of hours of pseudo light, and that even depends on the cloud cover and what the weather is. I have my 4 o'clock snack in the dark. I drive home in the dark. And when I get home from work, it's dark. After I eat dinner, it's pitch dark. And I want to go right to bed. And you would think, well, what's wrong with that, Dr. E? I mean, you worked a tough day and you came home and it's dark and you ate dinner. There's only one problem. It's 7 o'clock at night. So, you know, so what am I going to tell you? It's just a pity pot. I went into this pity pot. And then to add insult to injury, in addition to the dark, it's cold. Now, depending on where you're listening from, if you're listening to us from South Africa, or from the southern hemisphere, you don't have the snow that we have. You don't have the sleet that we have. You don't have the ice that we have. And just to go outside to walk the dogs or just to get the mail, you have to put on a spacesuit that would make any astronaut proud. And our entire routine is completely disrupted. It's been blown up. We can't get out into nature. And when there is that short window of opportunity, we can't even muster up the motivation to take advantage of a nice day. So after this week was our third storm, which knocked us all on our ass, with a fourth storm looming on the horizon with projections of 1 to 2 feet of snow cone material for us, I finally stopped wallowing in my self-pity and I started to consider the matter further. If the dark and the cold and the isolation has impacted me so greatly, I wondered, how was it going to affect other people? How would it affect my friends, my family, my children? But most importantly, how does this season affect our cancer survivors? Now, let's think about this. Not only do non-cancer survivors have a problem, imagine the cancer survivor who has so many additional layers of complexity and challenge to consider when we're considering what is going to be known as seasonal affective disorder. We're going to describe it and we're going to delineate it, and then we're going to conquer it. And then I started digging. I started shoveling. I can't even say digging through the literature. I started shoveling through the literature to come up with some information and answer for our beloved constituency. So first off, what we are all feeling is a real thing. It is called seasonal affective disorder. It's a really cool acronym, SAD, sad, because we really all feel sad, because of the winter. So basically it occurs when daylight drops. So daylight is dropping, it is always dark. And our brains just are not doing a good job adapting to that loss of light. So it messes up our internal clock. So the fancy word for that is our circadian rhythm is disrupted. It changes our levels of serotonin, which affect our mood. It changes the level of our melatonin, which help us sleep. It causes this deep depression. It's a sadness. It's a loss of intent, a loss of pleasure. It makes us very irritable. Brain fog. It just makes us like not even able to think. Profound fatigue. We're craving sweets and carbohydrates, and our weight is increasing, and we are withdrawing socially, and we're withdrawing physically. We're not doing our workouts. We're not getting outside. We're not walking. Now imagine all of that and then doubling down because of our survivors. So our survivors are broken down into our newly diagnosed, our active treatment patients, and our post-treatment survivors. So if you've just been newly diagnosed, you just got hit by that bus. You got cancer, Mr. Jones. You got cancer, Mrs. Smith. So now you're dealing with all that comes with that new diagnosis, the fear, the unknown. Do you have a future? Will you survive? And all you have is your thoughts, this darkness and this isolation. So now, not only did you get hit by a bus, now you're going to get hit by that train as winter, takes hold and starts to strangle us. Patients that are actively receiving treatments, you're going through all of the acute side effects. So your skin is either being cut by a knife or burned by a radiation beam. You're losing your taste. You're not able to swallow. Your blood counts are low. You're anemic. You have this cough that just won't go away. You're always nauseous. You have diarrhea. Your extremities are swelling. You're just being exposed to, ungodly amounts of radiation therapy, chemotherapy, surgery, and it's just playing havoc on your body. Add all that darkness, that cold, that isolation to that. And as I said, you get the double whammy. For our post-treatment survivors, you're dealing with all the long-term side effects, all the things that we did to you that are now part and routine of your life, right? So we disrupted all of your hormones. So we either put you into an early menopause, we took away your testosterone, we put you on steroids, we took away your thyroid function. There's the roller coaster of restaging. So every time you have to get new scans or new blood work, there's always the anxiety of going through that. And now going through it in the winter makes it even worse. And it is really for our post-treatment survivors where winter can be an especially hard situation because after cancer, even long after treatment ends, this winter season has a way of waking things up. It kind of is like a post-traumatic, reminiscence of all the bad things in your life. So it brings back fatigue. It brings back your aches and pains. It brings back your anxiety, your sadness. You remember the bad anniversaries and the memories that you never wanted to invite back into your life. It's almost like a post-traumatic stress reaction. The cold could settle into your joints and your nerves, and then darkness can magnify your worry. And God knows a survivor never wants to be in quiet because quiet is that space where there's too much room for bad thoughts. So we all know, and we know on this podcast, we know that survivorship is not a straight line. And what winter does, it just reminds us of all the ups and downs that our cancer journey, has, elicited in us. So I wanted to go over a couple of things on how to manage seasonal affective disorder for our survivors. Remember, you are not weak. You are in recovery. You're recovering from your illness, from your treatments. You're going to find people, selfish people, even people who are the most important things to you, your loved ones, understandably want you to get back to normal as soon as possible so they can get back to normal. But the truth is, your body and your mind have been through trauma. Even if you have perfect blood work and perfect scans and everything is normal, and even when your treatments are complete, your nervous system remembers. So if the winter slows you down, that is not a failure. That is your body just protecting itself. You need to create gentle structure. You have to develop and follow routine. So set anchors in your day, anchor points. So drink something warm in the morning, a tea, herbal tea, some coffee, some oatmeal, something hot, farina, whatever. Do some movement, and we're going to talk a little bit about that more in a little bit. Add some calm. Anchor your day with some calm, some music, your favorite show. Read a book, a magazine, anything that makes you happy. Shower and groom yourself every day. Make sure you shave, make sure you do what you have to do, because that will just make your depression much worse. You don't want to be the smelly kid. Try to do a healthy diet to the best of your ability, but be forgiving if you eat a big piece of cheesecake, which I just did. I'm forgiving myself for that. So please forgive yourself if you're not perfect. And remember, light is the medicine. So darkness is what causes all this. So let's add some light to our life. Let's draw the curtains. Let's try to put on your spacesuit and get outside 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And again, we'll talk about movement in a second. Light therapy. There's actually a thing called light therapy. You buy a light box. I'm going to tell you something. I don't know what it is, but you can buy a 10,000 lux light box. Have no idea who makes it, where you get it. I'm sure you can get it on Amazon, but please don't burn out your retinas. Please read the user's manual and do not hurt yourself. Lack of light is the cause of seasonal affective disorder, and a luster of light can be the cure. Lower your bar. There is no self-judgment here. There is no room for self-hatred, and there is no room for self-pity. Keep your lifelines. Stay social. Reach out, answer a phone call every day. Keep 1 or 2 of your social plans per week as weather permits. I know you don't want to do it. Susie, I see you out there. I hear you out there. You don't want to go to your bridge club, but you have to go. Once a week, you have to go to your bridge club. You have to go. Jonas, you have to put on your bowling shirt. You have to go to your bowling league. You have to get out once a week. And when life, we always say, Angel and I always say this on both of our podcasts, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. So we're in winter. For the next 48 hours, probably I'm not going to leave the house. Angel is probably going to be stuck in the hospital for 48 hours. Catch up on all of your uncompleted projects. Start or complete new projects. If you can't go outside and garden, you know what? Paint your garage, paint your living room. It probably needs it. I know my entire house needs to be painted. If you can't bike outdoors, buy a Peloton or join a Peloton and get on the YouTube and ride a beautiful ride. If you can't hike outside, hike inside. Put on a rucksack, put on some weight on your back and walk around, or go to the mall with all the other blue-haired ladies. All of our survivors, get out to the mall and walk. Join a gym. They have these introduction memberships that are very reasonable. You can build some muscle in the winter. You can join some classes, take a biking class, a spin class, take a yoga class, do a strength class, do something, just do something, get out there and move. Outdoor movement. This is really as important as light. It doesn't have to be anything mega ambitious, just gentle movement, 75, 150 minutes a week, stretch, YouTube yoga, buy a yoga mat, Amazon, get outside even for 10 minutes. Force yourself to get outside and get some light and do some movement. Meditation and breathing. Do some breathing, do some meditation. Again, YouTube, TV, buy a DVD. Very simple. Remember, to our survivors, emotional health is survivorship care. Feeling low in the winter does not mean that you are ungrateful to be alive. Sadness and gratitude can exist together, but if you notice excessive or persistent sadness that is paralyzing you, or you're feeling unrelenting anxiety or unfixable insomnia or overwhelming numbness, feelings of hurting yourself or feeling unsafe, immediately pick up the telephone, 988. Remember our podcast from that lovely lady from the suicide hotline? They're there to help you. Call us, call your oncologist, call your healthcare team. Tell them how you're feeling. Tell them anything that you need to do, that you need help immediately, and they will help you. They are required to help you. To summarize today's podcast, I want to give you my final thought. And I'm going to use what I did today sort of as a metaphor. So today I did a hike and I went to Bear Mountain and I did my hike, and I wanted to use it as a metaphor on how we can lessen seasonal affective disorder for our survivors. So I woke up today with 1.5 to 2 feet of snow looming on the horizon. And when I woke up, it was 4 degrees and it felt like it was probably minus 50 degrees. But I got in my car. I forced myself to get in my car and I drove to Bear Mountain. I figured if I could drive there, I would do something. I put on my spacesuit. I put on my crampons, which are those things you put on your feet with those clips so you don't fall on the ice. And I just started to walk. I had no idea whether I was going to just take one lap around the lake, around Hessian Lake, or whether I was going to start hiking up the mountain, whether I was going to go a couple of 100 yards, go a quarter way, go a halfway, go the entire way. I had no idea. And after 15 minutes, I started to warm up. I started to notice the beauty of the snow. I saw some deer. I saw maybe 3 other hikers. I heard the sounds of the woods, and I saw the fog of my breath, and I thought, wow, this is so beautiful. And I wanted to share it on the podcast because in that moment, I had hope that winter would be over soon, but at the same time, I had the peace of not needing to rush time. Because if there's one thing I have learned from my life of caring for survivors, time is a gift not to be squandered. Every new year is a blessing to be shared with our loved ones. Every new season is a lesson to deepen our wisdom, with winter being that tough teacher that none of us liked at the time, but the teacher that made us better. Every new day is a challenge to be the best people we can be. Every new hour is a new joy to savor. Every new minute is a new opportunity to inspire and be inspired. And every new second is a renewal of our life. And when I got to the top of the mountain, which I did get to, I wanted to shout this out to all of our survivors. Winter will not last forever, and it has no power over you, whether it be a 4-hour hike up a hill or a 5-minute walk in your own yard. Remember, you've already done the hardest thing. You survived cancer. You are a hero. You are a courageous human. Winter is just another obstacle to conquer, a pest, an inconvenience, a temporary detour. You've got this. Angel, please give us a nice spiritual ending to today's podcast.
Well done, my friend. As we close out today, remember that no matter what season you're in, no matter how heavy things may feel, you're stronger than you think. Take things one day at a time. Celebrate the small victories. Give yourself grace on the hard days, and never forget that you're not alone on this journey. Keep showing up. Keep believing. Keep moving forward, because we're here for you.
Angel, thank you for those beautiful words. And I'm going to just end on behalf of Angel and all of our board of directors with our Croc blessing, wishing all of our survivors a very, very long, healthy, happy, and cancer-free life. Remember, winter is nothing, just another season of our life. It starts and it has a beginning and it has an end. We're right deep in the middle of it right now. It will end soon. Don't rush it. Enjoy and savor every minute. Get as much light as you can. Get as much routine as you can. Get as much movement as you can. Be kind to yourself. Love yourself. And remember that you are a hero. Again, on behalf of Angel and all the board of directors, we wish you love and peace. Thank you.
Hey, Croc Nation, if today's message inspired you, please subscribe, download, and share this episode with your friends or someone who you believe needs it. Visit us at crocvip.com to connect, learn, and join the fight. Let's spread hope, one story at a time. Until next time, remember, we are not just a podcast, we are a movement.